everybody. This is our officially
Hi, Deidre. Hi, Shana.
episode. Hi, Ralene. Hi, Deidre. This is our officially second episode of Sisters of the Corn, and we have all three sisters here today, which is very exciting. So we'll just do maybe a quick, tiny introduction, just so in case anybody missed our first episode, they can catch up a little bit. What do you think?
Okay.
Ralene, you have to start because you're the oldest.
So I am the newly retired college science professor, biology professor, and the oldest. So I'm Ralene, and I'm the one that has both sheep as well as the knitting craze.
Perfect.
Oops, everybody froze.
Oh no. Well, bear with us, everyone. And now sister number 2.
The poor middle child. Hi, I'm Deidre. I'm new to the knitting world. I just have maybe 2 inches knitted, so we'll see how this works and find out if I really can be taught by these experts.
Oh yeah. And I'm sister 3, the problem youngest child. And so I'm Shana, and I am. Oh, let's see. All I could think of was a monster.
Knitter extraordinaire.
I'm a former shop owner. I had a yarn shop for about 6 years, and now I'm doing dyeing my own yarn. Don't have any sheep, but I have 2 giant dogs. So, but we're doing this podcast mostly to just try to connect with each other again. And we live far apart from each other, so we don't get to see each other at all. But we want to reconnect and also kind of share a bond over doing some crafts and things like that, and see what we can learn, see what we can do. Oh yes.
Excellent.
Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Short of the slow connection on my end.
Well, and I don't see that. I don't see that on mine. So
you're fine on mine.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so maybe it'll be okay. So first off, how were your Christmases? Did you have a good Christmas?
It was wonderful. Got to see the family that's here and my kids. So it was delightful. That's the best part of Christmas, getting to see folks. And now I get to see you guys.
All right. That was the same for me as Randy, my husband, and my mother-in-law, Pamela. We had a great dinner. Randy does the cooking always. So he had a wonderful turkey and candied yams and all good.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I had all my kids at home we haven't been together, all of us, for a while. So it was,
wow.
We just had my son Tommy just graduated from college the 15th. So we had that, and then we had Christmas. We also had Megan's birthday. Her birthday's the 22nd. So I really feel like I didn't really feel Christmassy or in the Christmas spirit or anything this year, just because it seemed so rushed, I guess. And then now Christmas is done. It's over. And I feel like, oh, what? This is just a regular day. Yeah. We went to the movies on Christmas Day.
Well, we decided to do no decorations, no Christmas tree this year, since we have 2, I think they're about 5.5-month-old kittens. We thought,
yeah,
it sounded like a little too much excitement.
You'd be climbing that tree.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, we went to the movies for the first time I've ever done that on Christmas morning. We went to 8:30 in the morning. Went to Aquaman.
Oh, you saw it already. Oh,
we did. And that seems, we've never done that. We always stay home and do Christmas stuff. And we're breaking all kinds of traditions this year. It was fun. It was really neat. And there weren't that many people there, but
cool.
It was getting busy. It seemed like 10 when we left or so, 10:30. There were just a million people there. I had no idea so many people went to the movies on Christmas Day. Have you ever done that? Have you ever gone on?
No.
No, not at all.
It hadn't even occurred to me that They would be open.
Well, I felt bad for the people that were working, because they weren't with their.
Yes.
So that was, yeah, ooh, a little bit of guilt there. But well, with the kids being bigger, well, why not? Why not go to the movies? It was really cool. It was really cool. So I guess next thing is, what projects have you been working on? And I got to start with Deidre, because as a person who has never knit, she is knitting. And we're super
I
excited
am.
about this. You got to show and tell.
Show and
What you're doing.
Well, this is it, guys. It's very exciting. It's a couple of inches of a coaster. So
Excellent.
It looks
Good job.
I restarted it 3 times. I've gotten halfway a couple of times and weird things happened, so I tried again. But somehow I'm supposed to have 20 stitches, and all of a sudden I got 22, and it was like, huh, how'd that happen? I kept hearing about losing stitches, but I had to send Shana a 911 and go, okay, how does this happen? And what did I do wrong? And it's down here somewhere that it happened, and I didn't realize it until a little bit later, and it's like, oh no, do I have to start all over again? So that's the beginning of my questions. And then when I get done, what happens? Or do I just make the biggest potholder or a coaster ever? So those are the next questions that I'll probably need all of your guidance on.
Oh, it looks really good. I mean, just from seeing people start knitting, a lot of times their things kind of go like this on the edges, and yours looks just perfect.
Well, there's some
The stitches are nice and even.
Well, there's some that look tighter than others. So it's like on this end, it's really tight. And then over here, it's kind of loose. And it's like, I don't know what's right, but you can tell it in the stitches down lower, but it's kind of funky. So this one will be mine. I already told my kids that this will be what they'll be getting from now on, is they'll be getting coasters, because I think that might be like me. So.
Well, you could just keep going, and it's a scarf.
There you go. And I don't know. I struggled with the purl stitch. I still don't have that one down. So I don't know why, but when you showed
it's always weird when you start.
You showed the picture of what Megan made, and it's just like, oh my God.
Oh, Megan did. She just did this. Oh, it's so pretty. It's a kind of a magenta colored hat, and she did cables, and oh man, it was nice hat. It was really good hat. Yeah, but it'll everything is just a combination of knit and purl, and how you manipulate that, so you can do it.
You have gotten off to an excellent start, I think.
I'm so excited, because we in our first episode, we talked about how you like horses, and look behind you, you've got horses
everywhere,
which is awesome. And I thought, I wonder if you'll feel like giving it a shot, or you did it. That was so cool.
And when you talked about bags, so I got myself a knitting bag.
Oh my gosh!
Just little holes in it for your yarn to come out.
Very cool. Awesome. I like that. Excellent idea.
So now, as a knitter, your job is to collect many bags.
Yeah. Well, I thought about, I need something for all of the extra goodies. Yeah. So I have a bag for the extra goodies.
Oh, yes.
She's rolling right along.
You are a true knitter. Oh my gosh. It's so awesome.
My daughter-in-law gives me little baggies for things. I was keeping computer cords in it, and now I have computer cords all over the floor. So, yeah.
Give and take. Win some battles, lose some battles.
Gotta do it, right?
Well, did you receive any knitting gifts besides that for Christmas, or was it,
No.
That's pretty
Not
good.
yet. So they're just waiting to see if I continue, I think. So
you're off to a tremendous start. This is really exciting.
It is fun.
Yeah.
Did you cast on yourself?
Pardon?
Did you cast on yourself?
Yep. Yep.
Oh, that's so impressive. When I first started knitting, Bobby Ward did the cast on, and I just tried to do the knitting part.
I couldn't
So
have done
you're,
it without Shanna's video. That was
yeah.
very helpful.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I mean, there's so many ways to cast on. There's so many different types. So the way that I
Oh,
showed you
yes.
was very, you know, it was the very basic, you know. So there's many ways and styles. So that'll be fun to show you later on. It was
Well,
so
the funny thing was, is I bought those 2 how-to books, and it's supposed to be for children, and I thought, oh, that'll be good. But the way that they started, just even the part about making the slip knot in both books was different.
Oh, wow.
And it was really hard what they said. So, and Shanna's sitting here holding it and using her thumbs. It was like, oh my gosh, that's perfect. So maybe writing a book is in your future.
Oh, yeah.
And these books, you know, even after you showed me, and then you went through the pearl, and I was trying to figure it out. Still struggling with that one, but the books make it more confusing. I just have to say, I'm gonna have to put the books away and just have you guys teach me. So,
I mean, that's, as Ralene, as a teacher, I mean, you're as a professor of everything, you know, I would think that would be also fun for you to be able to share your experiences as well. I mean, but it's nice to have a willing student.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Because a lot of people be like, no way, man, and run in the direction. So, hooray!
One of the fun things with my mother-in-law is that I taught her how to use an iPad here a while back, and one of her favorite parts is she can go online and find YouTubes for any stitch. She's been finding new stitches, new patterns I've never heard of before.
Oh, that's awesome.
Have you heard of a twisted stockinette stitch?
Yeah,
I just heard of it for the first time myself.
Well, I made, this is a sock that I made. Ooh, has a little dog hair. Well, I just did twisted rib, but
Oh, wow.
on the top, just to kind of make it, well, when I purl, it's always very loose. And so sometimes I twist it to make it tighter.
That's what it said he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Very cool.
This is a sock for Tommy. He wanted socks for a present, and so he got one. I have 2 feet. Why? So I don't know if the second one will ever get done. I have a problem with that. So, oh dear, it's hard to make 2 of one thing.
Maybe it's in the dryer.
Yeah. Well,
that's where it is.
Yeah, a lot of different colors of socks. So.
Well, that's better than Randy. He waited 5 years for his first pair of socks from all the work he helps with wrangling sheep.
I mean, socks are pretty cool, but man, there's 2 of them. You know, it's always. I like to do hats because, you know, one and you're done and you're out.
This is true.
Yeah.
Second sock syndrome.
Well, I always want to try a new color, you know, the next color. Yeah, it's really fun. Deidre, do you have a Hobby Lobby by you, or what store can you go get stuff from?
Michael's.
Oh, you go to Michael. Oh, I like Michael's. Yeah, they have some good stuff.
That's where I've gotten all my goodies so far.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, they have some really cool. I went in there the other day and they had yarns that were in like a little cake kind of like thing, and they're really stripy. They're really cool, really neat looking. So yeah.
All
well,
kinds of new things.
Ralene, you said last episode, or first episode, so many episodes, that you were going to go check out a store that's right by you.
Yes.
An yarn store.
I did. Pam and I went over to the Creative U, EWE, and it's literally blocks away from my house.
I mean, you could walk to it. I mean, or
I could, but
Country block.
it's maybe a little farther than that. But
Ah,
parking is interesting in this little town. I parked around the corner so I didn't have to practice parallel parking. I don't do that anymore.
no way.
But it's a house. The woman is I think her name is Catherine Kirby. She was a family doctor, and she
Oh,
decided to change. She invested everything in this store. It's basically a converted house, and it is chock full of yarn and all kinds of goodies. It was fun. It was really cool. I'm glad I discovered her.
wow. And so she's been there how long? Has it?
I I'm not sure. I'm thinking 3-ish years.
Wait, that's amazing. That's really wow. And it's just us, hop and a skip away. And
That's right.
oh, so they're
Used to be
doing. Oh, I know everybody's
sorry.
got my gloves. Tis the season to
That's right.
be coughing. So they have a knit along that you were talking about going on
Yes.
to their store that you wanted to kind of take part in.
Yeah, and so far it's been a lot of fun. I am using a little tiny pair of circular needles because I didn't think when she was telling me about that I can do magic loop, but I didn't think I could. I forgot that at the time. So these needles are like this long, but it's for the circle of the mitten, and it's been fun to use them. But it's a new thing. I didn't want to do double pointed for some reason. I'm still not sure why I made that decision. But anyway, I think they're called staff mittens.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And and I think I've got the pattern and information on my Ravelry site, but I took a picture of the yarn there. It's downstairs, so I'd show you.
Oh, yeah. No, that's okay.
But
We'll
I notice already, I'm only like an inch into the cuff, and on one side I've got the loose loop
oh
thing
yeah.
going on when I go around, when I tie, what do you call it, going around in the circles. There's always that end point that's loose. So I've got this range of loose
Oh,
stitches. So it's probably going to have to be ripped out and tried again.
well, I mean, we like to knit, so why not more, right?
I'm really good at that.
Have we told you about frogging it yet?
I don't think so.
Ribbit, rip it, rip it, rip it.
Oh,
There's so many funny words like that. Like you'll hear people talking about whips and foes. And so a whip is a work in progress.
ah.
Yep.
So foes are finished objects. And I mean there's all, and the frogget where you rip it
Yes.
back. So
I do the
About
UFOs, the
but
unfinished.
I didn't get it.
oh that's funny.
Well,
Oh,
I can show you what I'm doing right now is getting ready to do custom dyeing for a pattern that my mother-in-law's doing, and I'll see if I can hold this up right this time. But basically all I'm doing is taking my own yarn off of cones. And actually I'll just reach over here. So my yarn, when I send my wool in, the commercial mill puts them on cones like this. Is like a half a pound of yarn. And now I'm just using my umbrella swift and all kinds of fun techniques to basically put my yarn into these. I've got 6 skeins so far. I think I need 1 or 2 more to have what our pattern called for, but I'm going to dye. The reason I'm putting it into skeins like this is so I can dye it. And I'm going to try a spotted technique. It'll be mostly natural color with little speckles of silver gray. So I'm hoping that'll match the picture she was showing me, which is what I did a few years ago, again around Christmas time, when I did 4 colors of yarn. And she made this gorgeous patchwork sweater.
I
That's
have
on
a picture.
Ravelry too. Yeah, it
Yeah.
came out beautifully.
That is awesome. I'll try and share pictures of that on our Instagram because I
Okay.
know I have it. I just have to
You
find
have those now.
it. Yeah. So
So I just did something I've never done in all these years of using my own Swift. I was taking off the 7th skein, and I was cutting the loop of the beginning of the thing, and I somehow slipped. And there's I have now at least 5 loose ends.
Oh, shoot.
I cut the yarn. I can't believe I did that.
That's
So I'm trying to
tricky.
figure out what to do. I guess I'm going to put it on a ball winder and pull out the loose ones and do it again.
Oh, well, you
It's like,
will do it.
really? I've never done that before, and now I'm doing it?
Oh, well, how exciting. So what pattern is she knitting again? What sweater?
I forget which one the sweater is. We also were looking for a pattern called a weekend brim hat pattern. Someone, maybe you had put it on as that you liked it, that we could see on that Alpaca app of Ravelry.
Yes. We got to bring that
And
back.
she really zeroed in on the fact that the brim is actually cabled, and she'd never seen that before. So we eventually found it again after we lost it somehow, and couldn't seem to pull it up searching. But she's going to make that too, I think. But I'm not sure what yarn she's going to use for that yet.
I have to show you. So this is, all right. So let me see, where is it? Okay. It's that little green one. It's the Alpaca is the app. I think it's on Android and Apple. But it's so cool because you can find patterns. Let's see if it'll come up here. You can search, say you want to make a hat pattern, or you want to make a sweater pattern, or anything like that. And it's I don't know if you can, probably can't see it because the screen is too bright, but it's so search friendly, where sometimes when you go to search things, it takes forever. This one, there, it popped up a little bit. It's so bright. But yeah, you can just type in the search box anything, and it's connected to Ravelry, which is so great. If you're at the store and you want to make a sweater or a hat or whatever, and you don't know how much you need, you can just pull it up really quickly. Of course, you could do that on your Safari or your Google search or something like that too, but this is fast. I mean, it's like boom, it's right there. So highly recommend that. That's a good.
We'll have to have you get your free Ravelry account, and then you can figure out how to put your pictures of your coaster, your first projects on there, and we can see it.
Let's wait until I get one done first.
Yeah, I mean, Ravelry, it's so great. I mean, it's like your personal knitting library or project library.
Oh.
So you keep track of what you make, and then you have access to all the patterns in the world. I mean, it's like every single knitting or crochet pattern, it's collected in there. So you can access it and filter, and it's amazing. And it's free.
It has the social media angle too, so you can have friends that you give permission to see your stuff, and you can pick groups like the local Mid-Atlantic knitters or something like that on my end.
You could join the Sisters of the Corn group.
Yes.
Which is, I don't know, it has maybe 2 people in it. Maybe something like that.
I've been promoting.
That's all right. I mean, there's so many things to work out. I feel like we have a lot of bugs to work out, but oh well. Again, what is our priority? Getting together.
So Shana, do you have an umbrella swift? Do you have one that's like electric or with a hand crank?
I just have a manual one. Me
too. You're doing all of that with a manual swift?
Yeah, it's terrible. I've seen people with electric ones, and
yes.
Gosh, that's cool. And the one I have it's metal.
Oh, really?
It actually has little plastic deals covering the metal bars, but I've had it for like 8 years, 10 years.
Wow.
And it just works so well. I really like it. I have a wooden one too, but it doesn't turn as easy, I guess.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, but yeah, I've seen these ones where they just zoom, they go by themselves, and it's amazing. So this is, I have to show you this because I got a Christmas yarn. I ordered this yarn from,
pretty.
so this is
Ooh.
from this lady. Her business is called Arkansas Yarn Company.
Oh, wow.
And this is a sparkly yarn. I don't know if you can even see the sparkles at all.
I can see, yeah, when it's moving, I can see that. Yes, sparkly.
And so her yarn is called Not Even a Mouse. So it was her Christmas yarn. And so see this, Deidre, this, so the yarn comes like that, like a skein or a hank. It's in this thing. So we put that on the yarn swift, and then it's in like an umbrella. It hangs on there, and then it unwinds, which is really cool. And look how beautiful that is. Oh my gosh.
That is pretty.
Yeah.
I'll try and show you. I'm going to move my computer here, my iPad here. I've got my Swift set up so you can see what it looks like.
There it is.
Lord.
Wow.
What do you do with that?
And then right now it's set up so that I just pull the yarn off of my off of my cone, and just hold on to the edges and keep it spinning until I have one of those things like Shana just showed you. I have a skein. So like this one, I've got it folded up like she just undid hers.
Yeah.
Wow.
So basically this comes off of it, and then it's an easier form to dye with.
Wow.
I guess it's like an artsy fartsy thing that they do to sell yarn. The more expensive yarn comes in these things.
When you said umbrella, I didn't realize you meant.
It
Wow.
does look like one, doesn't it?
So then it comes and you can put it into like this, like a cake, like a little cake. And then you have this end comes right out of the cake. So this sits right there and doesn't roll around.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. It's totally great.
My mother-in-law bought me that after we did the big 4-colored dyeing thing. She bought me an electric ball winder. I can't believe they exist. It's the coolest thing.
You're so lucky. I just like, this smells good.
I love the smell of freshly dyed yarn.
It smells so good. I got Fibre it's all stuck in my chapstick. Oh no. Woolen chapstick. That's not good.
Yeah. Oh my.
I think
it's the things I learn.
Yeah, that's the only education that you're going to get.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did take dyeing lessons formally over at the Mannings. You'll hear me refer to those, Deidre, now and then. It was like one of the biggest studios for weaving and spinning in the country. They just recently closed. But anyway, I took dyeing classes there, and they had one of those nifty electric Swifts, because of course there were like 5 or 10 of us that had 2 or 3 skeins a piece, and after we dyed it, she put them on there, and it's like, cool. It's the coolest thing ever.
I saw a lady who had a automatic twister when it becomes on the Swift, and you take it off and you want to twist it into a hank, and this machine just did it automatically. And I usually just
I had no idea.
Yeah, it took a second. It was 1 second, and it was beautiful.
And it was a perfectly evenly tensioned. Oh my.
Yeah, every little
that's what I was showing you, Deidre, when I unrolled it like this.
Like that.
Wow. Yeah, so as you come out like that. So what I had the brilliant idea of making this Swift setting 92 inches in diameter, so the yarn's that long. That wasn't very bright of me, because to twist it, I have to do this.
They get your workout.
It's so long. That's what I think it is.
So sometimes it hurts your arms after a while, and then
the manual Swift is giving my shoulder a workout. That's for sure.
So isn't that neat?
That's very neat.
Yeah. So that's so exciting, and it's funny how thrilling that is. how excited we get off of things like that. It's just
I
fun.
remember the first time I saw one, it's like, oh, not only is it in a different form, you need different equipment to deal with it.
Seems like
You can't just unwind it around a chair back or something like that. But it's
no,
not as fun.
it's not as cool. It really isn't. When I had my shop, people would sometimes they would buy those skeins of yarn, and then they would want me to wind it for them so they could
Oh,
go
really?
start knitting. And so I would do that. And then some of the regulars I had in the shop, they said, well, can I wind it? And it became kind of a, ooh, I get to do it. It was,
Wow. Wow.
it was a treat for them, I guess. That was fun. Yeah.
Oh.
But I like to keep mine in a hank form until the last possible second, before I'm going to use it, because it stays so nice and pretty.
Yes. Yes.
Otherwise, tangles. Tangles
It's
setting.
also interesting to see how if it's a yarn with multiple colors like the variegated, it looks different in skein form or in ball form or even in the final product. The pattern just changes. It's nifty.
Yeah, it's so wild. And I don't know about you, but the name of colors it really draws me in. So if something is named something really cool, and it might be just a color, it looks so cool. I think, man, that's so awesome. If it's named, yeah, let me think of one. Bubblegum or
yes,
something cute.
Oh yes,
peanuts. Anything that's funny like that. I think, oh, that's so cool.
You're a clever person naming those things.
It is hard. So now the sweater you're wearing, I missed you. I missed that conversation, or you were talking about it before we started recording.
Deidre asked me if I made it. I did not. I broke down and bought this sweater.
Oh yeah,
but it's just so pretty. I think it was actually a Kohl's on sale thing, and it's become one of my favorite sweaters because of the pattern. And I don't think I could do anything that geometric. I think that would just send me over the edge.
That seems like yeah.
But it's basically a big square with two sleeves in it.
Oh,
it's nice.
That's neat.
Nice and simple.
We talked about maybe doing a knit along with our Ravelry group sometime, and so that would just be people doing the same pattern together and comparing notes, kind of a thing. And we didn't really pick anything or really decide what we were gonna do. Oh, the indecision. Coasters. We're making coasters.
There we go.
So
I was the woman that taught us or retaught me when I joined the college knitting group. She made dishcloths with little holes around the edge. I still make myself those because they're just so nice, and they're something that easy. My first pattern really to make. So those are always an option too for your second project.
Ooh, okay.
But you could make a hat. You could totally make a hat. It'd be neat to show you circular needles. Because man, those are the way to go.
I saw them at the store, and it's just like, I have no idea what's going to happen on there. So
it's just so
funny.
Go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say, well, because the idea of circular needles is you're going to not have to sew things up, and so you would make the hat and just keep going round and round and round, and then when you're done, and you go wear it. Where if you make it flat, then you have to sew it together, which that's another step.
Yeah, I can hear you there.
Yeah, it's a lazy man's thing where I like to not sew things up.
There you go.
Yeah. You're talking about your second sock. I have made one pair of socks, two at the same time, two circular needles. It was the coolest thing ever. Again, a class that I took. The three of us went together, which was just too much fun to be legal. She had us just sit and watch her do it for 15 minutes. And then we had, I think, a 5-hour class. My head was going to split open. But finally it sinks in and it's like, this is the coolest idea ever. It's treating 2 socks as 4 halves. So they just keep going around and around.
I mean,
It's really nifty.
that is.
I'm saying I may have made 1 pair that way.
Wow.
It is so cool. I mean, I love that concept, but I just really like double points. I just find them so comfortable, and I'm really slow and bad at getting socks finished, but man, it's so comforting. Yeah. There's something about, this is cool. Yeah. Yeah.
The most experienced knitters, advanced knitters in our group still put their socks off the circular needles onto the double points for like the heel or anything fancy, and it's like, uh-oh.
There is a lady.
I made it through.
Oh yeah, there was a lady. She did a podcast, and she makes her socks on a sock machine, except for the heels and toes, and maybe the cuff. I'm not sure. And she comes back, and she has these gigantically long tubes of just sock material, and then she goes back and she puts in the heels and the toes, and it's just wild. It's just. Yeah, it's very efficient and fast. We got to get you into watching podcasts, Deidre.
Okay.
Yes, I know you'll.
Like you have nothing else to do with your life, but.
I'm sure it's kind of more fun than watching TV when you get into it.
Yeah.
There's so many podcasts. I mean, Ralene, have you watched any new ones since our last episode?
Just the ones that you had recommended to me. I haven't done any more.
There were those Christmas ones. They were real short. They called them like a vlogmas. It wasn't a blog, but it was a vlog. And so they were just maybe 10 minutes long. Every single day people were making these videos, and it showed they were working on for Christmas, or some people bought advent calendars to open up that were yarn related. And so every day they'd open up one present.
That's so clever.
And those are fun because there was a dyer. Her podcast is called Stranded Yarn. I think it's Amy Florence is her name, and she's from England. And so every day she kind of showed how she works and how she dyes her yarn, and it's so cool just to see her.
Nice.
Yeah, because she's a small business that she just has built from nothing.
Wow.
And it's neat. It's just kind of fun to watch her do stuff. And plus she has a really cool accent.
Yeah.
That helps.
Extra frosting on the cake there, huh?
Well, yeah, I mean, she could say anything. You're like, oh, that's good. That's good. Because it sounds cooler with an accent. Yeah. So I highly encourage you to check out some in our YouTube channel. There's a few of them I favorited that I like to watch. So if you kind of want to see, it's definitely enjoyable.
Well, the first wrinkle that I had with my first knit along, this set of mittens that I'm supposed to be making, is that they told me, and it didn't sink in, but they said, well, if you want to be in the drawing for the end of the month, when you complete your mittens, you have to use some of our yarn. And I'm like, I'm kind of using my own stash here.
Yeah, well.
So darn.
So you didn't buy any of their yarn?
Not yet. There's plenty tempting there, but.
Oh yeah.
I have a bag of sock yarns that I just can't wait to try. When I took a sock knitting class, also at the Mannings, and they gave us a 25% discount, and I bought a few skeins.
Well, yeah,
I have a bag of those.
I can relate to that. I feel like there's a career. Here's my career as a knitter, and then my career as a yarn buyer.
There you go.
And never the two shall meet. I don't know.
It was really funny when I went into Michael's and I went into the aisle, and it was like I was so out of my comfort zone. There was a very experienced knitter there, and I think I kept catching her eye, and I could tell she was very amused by my just standing there staring at all of the yarn, and then looking at the needles and then staring. And I turned around, and she just kind of had a couple of the little snickers going, but she never said anything. And I so badly should have just asked her, well, what should I buy? Help me. But I did.
Did
So,
she help you? Did she talk
no,
to you?
she didn't say anything, but I think she was very amused as she was stocking up on. It looked like she might have been getting baby blanket stuff, so
Oh, wow.
Very
she had quite an armful. So
it's really neat to when you run into people who are doing this, who are knitters or crocheters, and I don't know, it's really easy to start talking to them.
Oh, yes.
I find that so funny because you could just, I was at an appointment and I was in a waiting room area and there was a lady across the way who was knitting. So I kind of slowly creeped over and just kind of kept getting, she probably thought, "Ooh, what are you doing?" And I just kind of see it, and what you making? What are you working on? And it was the easiest conversation. You feel like, wow, it's just flowing, and
Yes.
you can instantly make a friend.
nice.
Share troubles and tribulations of what happens when I dropped all my stitches.
Yes. The
My needle
double pointed needle slid all the way out.
and they were all
Oh no, you're scaring me.
but maybe you can fix it. You can totally fix it.
Okay.
That's the good news. You can always fix it.
And of
Or
course,
start
it's
over.
such a tactile thing for most of us that just any excuse to fondle yarn. It's just handle it twice or three times.
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter if you ever make anything as long as you're just doing that. That's repetition and meditation. Yeah.
When you were talking about your life as a consumer, a buyer of yarn and bags, I don't know if I can get this right, but
Oh,
I
wow.
thought I got this at the Baltimore Zoo years and years ago. And
Wow.
one time I walked in taking lessons. I brought that with me because I thought, I have what I need. And the lady that owned the manning saw me go by and she says, "That's what we like to see in our shoppers."
Oh, yeah. Well,
It's like, yeah.
I mean, there's cheaper. This is the cheapest therapy that I could think of for whatever ails you.
Yes,
If
yes.
there's a pretty bag, or if somebody has made that bag and then you support them in their business, I think that's so great.
I think somebody told me recently that the therapy session costs $160 an hour. That's a lot of yarn. That's a lot of yarn.
Wow. Let's see. Just gonna think on that for a second.
That's an East Coast price, so it's probably twice as much as anywhere else. But
Yeah. I mean, think of all the, oh my gosh, sweaters and hey, so my one son had a job interview, or he will have a job interview next week, and it's for a place kind of by Madison, Wisconsin. And so I actually went and I looked to see what yarn stores were by this town.
excellent.
What can I see if you would get that and I would visit you? What can I see there? That would be yarn store related. Oh yeah,
Excellent.
that's a good thing. There's quite a few. I hope he gets a job.
Oh my. And what is that? What is that abbreviation? LYS for your local yarn shop?
Yeah. So I have to tell
We
you,
have a list of those.
yeah, the yarn store that I've been taking my yarn to, the yarn that I dye, and
Uh-huh.
she's so kind and lets me have my yarn in her shop. And so it's called Fibre, and it's about 25 miles south of where I live, and it's in a town called Neenah, and she's brand new. She just opened about 2 months ago,
Oh
something like
my.
that. And so she's starting out, and she really is trying to focus on new independent yarn dyers and getting
Nice.
things from our state featured more than other larger companies, more commercial yarn companies. So it's really
Fantastic.
cool. Yeah, it's
Oh,
really
yeah.
cool. So yeah, she's growing. I just got a message on my phone, just popped up, and it said, it's open knitting night at Fibre.
That is fun to do. I miss my knitter friends
Yeah.
from the circle there, but people leave and go, and
Yeah.
things are changing at the college. So
There's nothing like a group of friends, and you gather to do this, and you just get together and hang out. There's nothing better. It's so much fun.
very, very true.
You can do this via Skype too. I mean, it's still fun to just share
Yes.
what you're doing, and I don't think there's anything more fun. Everyone should knit.
Yes. So do you have something on your needles, Shana, besides the socks you're working on?
Well, I do. Back to this cake of yarn. So I'm working on, so here it is. So here's a circular needle.
Oh.
So I'm making my own pattern right now.
Oh,
And
wow.
so I hope that this will turn into something. And it's going to be a hat, a style of hat, maybe a beret. And
Okay.
well, one of my kids said that, well, after it was Megan, when she started making her own hat, and she said, "Ooh, I'd like to have a beret hat." So I thought, "Ooh, I want to make a beret hat." So this is my yarn that I dyed, and I thought it'd be cool to have my own pattern too. So we'll keep you posted on how that.
Very neat.
But
Oh,
can you
yes.
see how, isn't that so cool? So it's so this is a circular needle. It's a 16-inch size 5 circular needle. So if you're at the store and you want to buy a needle that's good for hats, Deidre, this size 16-inch is what you want. Nothing bigger than that or longer than that. So they're so good, because then, I mean, once you're done with this and you just keep going, then you just end it and put it on your head. And there's no sewing.
Yay. I am not a good sewer.
Let's see.
Ask Shirley.
Yes, we should spend a moment and talk about our stepmom, who is, well, she started out as a fabric store manager, and she does most everything well that's crafty.
She does.
Yeah, and I don't know, I kind of feel like as I saw her as a kid doing all these things, I thought that was amazing.
Yes.
And I like to sew, but this knitting stuff, oh. I don't know. I mean, do you sew? Do you spend time?
Not much anymore. I started that way. Shirley helped me, or my stepmom helped me make a baby blanket gift that was quilted, but it was not the quilting with a knot instead of actually doing the fancy sewing. And she helped me make several things that were kind of quilted. That was great, but I think I had sewing machine issues. So
oh, it's not good when your tools don't work well. Yeah.
Not too portable either.
I don't think it's the tool. I think it's the user in my case.
No. Do you have a sewing machine? Do you?
I have the one that she gave me, and it's not getting used very much. It's just holding up things in the basement and stuff like that. So
Hey, this happens.
yeah. It's kind of like the exercise bike, It's a clothes hanger. Yeah.
It goes in stages. I mean, maybe if you get it out because you have to make something, or your kid needs a Halloween costume, or
then I go to the store. I don't make.
You go to the store to buy the costume.
Yeah. I'm sorry, not very crafty. I'd rather be outside.
Oh, it's fun to do, but sometimes it's just getting at all the materials. And I really like to go to Joann's Fabric, and I just like to walk around and look at all their prints of the fabric, and then I end up buying a tie blanket and not even using my sewing machine. tying it together. Yay! Because that's fast.
It was fun to shop for all of those cool materials that could be used in a quilt, the different colors on a theme. But I was sort of horrified the first time. It's like, oh, this beautiful long piece of cloth, and I'm going to cut it up into little strips or little squares.
It's kind of a
It
shame.
just seems so wrong.
Yeah, it's almost evil to cut it up, Or I wonder who is the person who draws, or who is the artist who comes up with all these things, all these great pictures, and wow, some of them nowadays are just amazing.
I've got 2 pictures on my phone of Dad's most recent tops. One was the sunshine one, and one was, I forget what the other one was, animals. They're so gorgeous. And he's making the top part.
It's just, so I was watching an episode of Modern Family, and I saw there's this. Do you watch that show?
Modern? I have
not very often.
Oh, it's so funny. And this character, his name's Cam, and he always wears really wild shirts, and he had a button-up shirt. One side was a print, and then on the inside it was a different print, so it was stripes on the outside and flowers on the inside. Oh, it's so cool. I thought, man, that'd be a really cool knitting bag. Inspiration everywhere you turn.
That is good.
Are you guys into Harry Potter?
I think I've read most of them. I haven't watched many, if any, of the films.
I think the books were better.
Yeah.
The kids really, my girls really like the books and the storyline, and they can tell you anything about it, but yeah.
We just spent a day. Well, there was Harry Potter marathon on TV yesterday, and then the day before, I guess it was going on for 2 straight days. And I know there's a lot of knitters and dyers who dye yarn named after Harry Potter or patterns. I know my daughter Megan wanted to make a hat, and its name was Hermione. I think Hermione loves Ron, I think is the name of the hat pattern.
Oh.
Isn't that cool? That's really yeah, it's fun to.
I've heard of knitting theme parties too, where they just have a movie marathon. You get together and knit and watch the movies.
Oh, that's a lot of fun. I mean, when I had my shop, there was a lady. Every Friday morning, we would have movies in my shop, and just come and knit. And whatever movie we had, we just put in the VCR, not the DVD player, but. And I had one lady though. She would come and hang out with me every Friday and just watch, and it was so much fun. It was just she was. I didn't have too many takers on that because Friday morning people are working and stuff too. And, but that one regular.
Oh, nice! What a great idea.
Yeah. Anytime there's movies and snacks.
I have to concentrate too hard. I'm not at the point yet.
I can't talk and stop knitting.
I have to count.
Did you get an app for accounting thing or anything?
I just was using a sticker, so
a Post-it note.
Yep, I have.
It works.
Have those right here.
I mean, that is a beautiful Post-it note. They're very functional.
Yeah, I know you told me there was an app, but I haven't found that yet. So
you'll get it. Well, I know we're coming up to 53 minutes here. So last time our thing was we ended our podcast with corn jokes.
Uh-oh.
I didn't prepare you, Deidre, at all for this. Ralene, do you have?
I forgot my assignment.
Because we said, "Ooh, congratulations! We made it to the end of our podcast."
That's good.
Every time we have to try to think of new ones because I actually forgot to. I didn't think of it.
Oh.
Nothing.
I have nothing. I'm not good.
It's not really a joke, but there is a group. I think it's a dance group in South America, maybe Colombia. Their name is Sisters of the Corn.
Oh, it is?
Hey.
Oh, does that mean we have to take dance lessons and stuff? And Are we gonna have to perform?
Oh no, you didn't tell me that was a part of this.
No, I think it'll be all right. So next time, episode 3, your jobs are to find one corn joke
Okay.
or corn pun.
Okay.
You want to bash?
Is that a corn pone?
And because I think the last time I kind of picked on Iowa a bunch. So if you wanted to pick on anything like that, you're welcome. Good fun. Good fun.
All right.
I think she's Googling corn jokes right
I am.
She
I'm
is.
Wait, I can do that too, actually.
So that we can get a kernel of truth.
Oh.
Ooh. What,
There. I'm done.
what niblets do you have to share today? Niblets of information do you have for me?
We'll just have to find more kernels.
More
Oh gosh, I can't
She's really
stop
good
now.
at this part.
creamed corn or regular?
Right.
Nobody likes creamed corn, do they?
I don't know why.
Why do they do that? It's like
I don't know. That's
Like-
just gross.
gravy for your corn. No way. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, we did not pick a knit along project. We really need to do that, deciding. Well, maybe it is going to be like coasters. Maybe we're going to do coasters.
That's all I can do right now. I might be able to get this one done.
One of these days we'll have a mitten or a hat. We'll work on that. We'll get you up and rolling. I'm going to post some more videos to help, with techniques and stuff. And those are by invitation only.
That's right.
It's because no good. They're like horrible
Excellent.
quality, but
Excellent.
they seem to work. So that's okay.
Yeah, I'll need the pearl one and then what to do when you get to the 30th row.
How to cast off. Okay. It's a deal. We can do that. So, okay,
Excellent.
guys. Well, that's super fun. Oh, there's a gnat flying by me. Oh,
In the winter.
how
It's
weird.
so wonderful to see you both. It's
Yeah.
just
Me too.
terrific.
Now, how long do we want to wait before we do episode 3?
You tell me.
I mean, New Year's is coming real fast. So, well, I'll text you guys, and if you're free,
Okay.
because Deidre, you had a little bit of a vacation from work, so the daytime worked for you. When do you go back to work? When you go back to
Next week.
next week? So
Yeah.
Monday or Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay, so possible that maybe Tuesday is New Year's Day. Think about it. Think about if you have time. Maybe we could see what has happened since today, knitting wise, and we can catch up and see where everybody is. That'd be cool.
Okay.
Let me show you one thing real quick. I'm going to turn my iPad around.
Oh, look at that.
That is all Randy's staging area. He's going to be leaving sometime before or after New Year's for that tropical marine trip with 16
Ooh.
undergrads
Oh,
to the Bahamas.
I
So
thought
I don't know when that is right now, but that'll probably affect whether I'm free or whether I'm adjusting to 2 weeks of different.
so. Do you have to do more farm chores then?
Yeah, pretty much everything.
Oh, hey, how's your ankle? Because you,
Much better. It's almost all normal colored again.
she sprained her ankle and she had to sit on the couch the last time.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
I had a lovely bruise in the almost exact shape of my cowboy boot because I'd have probably broken it if I hadn't had that boot on.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you didn't break. So maybe next time you can share a little bit of a look inside your farm duties,
Okay.
like daily duties of what.
Well, think about that one. Yes.
Yeah, that would be fun to see what all it is. And you can take us on your daily duties at your job.
Yeah. That would be cool. No.
Would that be like? Would
That might be a yawn fest.
Would that stress you out too much?
or naughty words.
Well, it can always bring amusement, though.
I think Ralene's sound more fun.
Yeah, I've got a lot of barn manure cleanup to do. Does that sound good? Filmable?
I'm really good at that. I can clean stalls well.
Oh yeah, but well, is your doctor gonna let you though?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably not.
We'll have to see about that. So
Deidre, Dave and I were thinking of going out to see Ralene in May.
ooh.
So maybe put that on your radar because it's the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival.
Oh, you have to see it.
Wouldn't that be
Be fun.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So we're aiming for that. So
Okay.
keep that
Let
in
me
your
know the dates and see if I can do that.
It's always the festival itself is always the first weekend in May. I don't know exactly what those dates are, but it's usually around the 3rd.
Okay.
Poor Randy spent several of his birthdays in the back of the booth.
Ooh, that would be tremendous.
Okay.
We could do a live recording.
Ooh.
Oh, that'd be fun. I think
Very
that
cool.
one, yes.
And
Okay.
also, if you have any other thoughts, Deidre, on we do Skype, is there a better platform than Skype?
I look for the one to see that I used to use, but it's been so long I don't even know if it exists, but I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the quality of images is better and sound is better now, so I don't know how that's going to translate.
I'm just fixed on those books behind you right now because now I see
I
more.
know.
There's
I was
like,
kind of wanting in there.
what's in there? What's all in there? Maybe we could take a tour of your books.
Yeah, it's actually short a few because I took like 5 sweater books down to my mother-in-law to see if she found anything in there.
Oh, wow.
I'd like to collect them.
That is a really cool cabinet too.
Isn't it? The farmhouse is probably 1870s, 1850s, and that's pretty much all the closet space.
Oh, really?
There's one of those in several of the rooms, not all the rooms.
1870. I mean, well, we're gonna have to take a tour of your house too sometime.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I should look into one of those GoPro cameras, huh?
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to read some of your titles there.
Can you really see that well?
Nah, I can't. I mean, some of them look familiar just because of like the colors and stuff of the spine, but how fun is that? We like field trips of all kinds.
All right.
Okay, guys. Well, I guess we should sign off.
All right.
Okay.
I'm just gonna stop the recording here, and so until next time, viewers. But you two guys stay there. I'm just gonna end the recording. Okay.